good morning, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and it's the 15th anniversary of Madeleine McCann's disappearance. And don't you know, I woke up this morning and I looked on my phone, and there was a request for an interview. Yes, on Colin Brazier's show. Yes, he's GB News Prime's Time Star. Woohoo! And I'm thinking, wow, this is incredible because it's been a long time since major media has allowed me to speak on the Madeleine McCann case because, you know, there's an agenda. The agenda is Madeleine McCann was abducted and Christian Bruckner is now the guy who did it. And so I didn't really not expect anyone to contact me this morning, but it happened. And before I go on with this show, hey, I think you're going to like this video. And I think you're going to want to subscribe to hear all the rest of the stuff I have. So please do that now. I'm going to tell you what happened this morning, and then I'm going to do the interview that they would have liked me to have done at the end of the show. So anyway, here's what I got this morning. It came from Kieran Sony. She is a producer at GB News, and she writes, "Good morning. I'm a producer with the Colin Brazier Show on GB News in London. Are you available to have a chat about the Madeleine McCann case? It's the 15th anniversary of her disappearance, and it's a case which has resonated with so many people around the world and generated thousands of articles and programs." And she tells me what time they're on the air and what time I could come on to do this. I'm thinking, oh, that's pretty cool. But you know, I'm a US person, so I don't really know the UK shows, so I'm like, who's Colin Brazier? And why are they wanting me to be on his show? Maybe he's part of a new group of people that's coming out. I went to GB News and I saw some different shows, and they said they were for free speech and they didn't censor. And I'm thinking, oh, cool. So I looked at his show and I saw this. Oh my God. Now, if you look at the bottom, at the white part at the bottom, it says Colin Brazier. Broadcasters have shown they're only interested in looking at things the same way. And I'm like, okay, that must mean he's opposed to just that one view kind of thing, the agenda. So maybe that's why they're willing to have me on the show. Isn't this grand? So she called me. We had our pre-interview. A pre-interview is where they just go over what you're going to say, and then we set up the time and how we're going to do it. So she starts out by saying, it's that 15th anniversary and the McCanns are, and I'm starting to think, this is sounding like she's expecting me to, I'm like, what is she expecting me to do? Did she just see one show like this, Search for Maddie, 3 years since the disappearance, and she didn't really know what I was going to talk about? Did she not see this one? This was from the Sun. I'm sorry, this is Mark Sonokono from Australia, and he wrote, "Maddie McCann abduction theories blasted by U.S. crime expert." And here's the one from the Sun, where I said Maddie died in that apartment. Did she not know that I've met Gonzalo Amaral and a big supporter of his? Did she not know I've been to Praia de Luz? Did she not know I wrote a book called Profile the Disappearance of Madeleine McCann? That the McCanns had Carter Ruck get that book off of Amazon in a libel threat? Did she not do any actual work to find out who I am? Did she just assume I was a FBI profiler, which I'm not? You know, the kind of retired FBI profiler who just goes with the program, goes with whatever is popular at the time. I'm going to say she didn't, because I started talking to her and I said, well, the first problem we have with the whole case and why it's 15 years out is that there is no evidence of an abduction, and the evidence has always supported the fact that the child most likely died in the apartment and that she was removed from the apartment. And that was the original thought of Gonzalo Amaral. And then he was booted off the case. And from that point on, with all the politics interfering, that concept of the evidence supporting the child's death in the apartment, not by a stranger, was removed. And the UK got involved. I said that Scotland Yard has spent more than £20 million on a case which they didn't even properly analyze, because they started the case saying, oh, they have a remit that says it's an abduction and we're not looking into McCann's, which is not the way you review a case, by eliminating a suspect before you even look at them. You can do that during the review. You can do your review, you can look at all the evidence, and you can exclude someone. So the McCanns could have been excluded at some point by Operation Grange if they'd done it properly, but they didn't start out that way. They just started out by saying it's an abduction, even though the evidence doesn't point to an abduction. So we got a problem there, don't we? And then I talked about how, so much money has been spent, including the McCanns spending a lot of money on questionable PIs who got nowhere and were crooked. And now here we are 15 years later with a suspect, the German suspect, Christian Bruckner, and how there's zero evidence supporting the fact that he had anything to do with what happened to Madeleine. And she got startled and she questioned me on that. And I said, well, there's no physical evidence. There's no DNA evidence. They tore up every place he lived and they found no clothing from Madeleine McCann. They found no photos showing her at his place. Nothing. They have nothing on him. And she protested a wee bit. And sort of at that point she said, well, thank you very much, Papa. I don't think we'll be able to have you on today. What a surprise. What a surprise. Okay, so right now I'm going to do the interview that he's expected me to do. Or they, I'll say that they, GB News, and the pretty much follow the agenda, no free speech, and a lot of censoring news that they claim they're not. So when you see a show this afternoon somewhere between, I think it's between 4 and 6 p.m. In the UK, or if you've taped it, look at it, because I'm wondering who they got to do this interview. But I'll do it now for you, just so you know what I could have done to get lots more people, tons of subscribers on my YouTube channel, because I would have appeared on his show. So anyway, here we go. Well, I thank you, Colin, for having me on. I appreciate that. Yes, it is the 15th anniversary of the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, and it has been a struggle for the McCanns all these years, and the entire world has always hoped that Madeleine would be found alive, hoped that she would return to her parents, and the McCanns and much of the world still hold out that hope. Well, yes, I think Operation Grange did the best job they could possibly do. They put so much effort into it, looking in every nook and cranny they could to find the person that did this horrible thing, that person who abducted Madeleine, poor little almost 4-year-old Madeleine, took her away from her family, and they struggled through all of this, but now they seem to be quite happy that there is a suspect in sight. Yes, in Germany, the prosecutor there, he has come forward to say they do have a very excellent suspect, and now the UK is kind of, well, I'd say they're totally behind this because they believe that maybe, just maybe, they have found the right guy. His name is Christian Bruckner. He clearly is a sex pervert. He clearly has a thing about children. He was in prior deluge at the time, and the prosecutor says that his phone pinged right there at the resort at the time all this went down. The prosecutor is being very cagey about what evidence he has at this point, which is why they haven't actually arrested Christian B. But, I'm sure that they've got that evidence there. I'm sure they've got that, and they're just waiting to get to the point where they can be sure they have an absolutely airtight case. And I believe this is why the UK is behind this and is shutting down Operation Grange. And even Portugal now has said that Christian Bruckner, they didn't give his name, but they said there is a new Arguido, a new suspect. So we have Portugal on board. So I'm pretty sure that we're coming to a conclusion in this case. We are coming to a conclusion. I think the McCanns, it may not be the conclusion they wanted. They wanted their daughter home alive, but at least if they can find out what happened, they can at least put this to rest. And I think they're willing to do so at this point. Well, I thank you very much, Colin. I enjoyed being here today, and I'll just have to stay tuned to see whether indeed we see Christian Bruckner go to court and we find out finally exactly what happened to Madeleine McCann. Thank you very much, Colin. Well, there you go. So now I've done my interview for today. I hope you enjoyed it. So that would be the interview that they wanted me to do. It's not the interview they would have gotten, so I was booted. So there you go. That's how it works. There is no free speech. There is censoring. And there is one agenda. And don't you believe it when the major media says there isn't, there is. And they're not willing to have someone come on and challenge that in any way, because it's about making their money. It's about their viewers. It's not about the truth. So don't you believe it. So again, that's it. I hope you enjoyed my interview. Please, again, like the video, subscribe, and share it on your Madeleine McCann sites, because I know what today's going to be like, and it's going to be all about how they finally found the right guy. So catch you next time.